Hey, how you doing? And welcome back to this week's video. I'm Dr. Dave with Paragon Chiropractic. We got Dr. Nolan here. He's going to make sure I'm doing this right. So that's good. All right. So as usual, thank you for following along. And I got a few comments on the last one, and that's really good. Today's installment is called Handling Your Blood Sugar. Okay. So if you recall from the last one, wow, blood sugar. Who would have thought that would have been the thing? That if you focus on that the most and get that handled, that's pretty much the best way to go. Oh, yeah, and I know most people say, yeah, my doctor tells me this all the time. Right now, my doctor says I'm pretty good. My fasting glucose is 109, but if it goes any higher, he's going to call me pre-diabetic. Well, I got news for you. You are pre-diabetic, right? Anything between 100 and 125 is pre-diabetes. And this number does not take into account how hard the pancreas is working or has been humping along nearly 24/7 to keep your fasting glucose levels in this pre-diabetic range. So you don't, it's like, oh, well, yeah, it's only 103. No, your pancreas is grinding away, releasing insulin 24/7, trying to keep it at 103. Yeah, that's not so good. In previous blogs and videos, I talked about the importance of eliminating chronic inflammation and all the damage it does to your body, right? Truth be told, the lifestyle that has your blood sugar levels elevated is also an inflammatory lifestyle. They kind of go hand in hand. A person really can't have one without the other. So if a person wanted to lead an inflammatory lifestyle, he would do so by managing his blood sugar levels and vice versa, which would mean, if I can get this flipped over, if a person wanted to avoid being diabetic and live a healthy and well lifestyle, he would live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So the two lifestyles are essentially the same. You work on decreasing your inflammation, you're also working on handling your blood sugar. I would say if your blood sugar levels were in the normal range, that is about as bulletproof as a person can become on preventing not only all of the chronic diseases like obesity, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, and autoimmune disease, but also cancer and almost any other disease and or disorder that's out there. And this, of course, is regardless of what my doctor says. I got 40 years of people telling me what my doctor says, and it's like, I don't care what he says. You're a mess, right? At any rate. Good. Fasting blood glucose levels, that being blood sugar levels, should be between 80 and 100, and obviously the closer to 80 is better. Just because your blood sugar is 99, there's no reason to go dancing in the streets. So how would a person go about managing his blood sugar levels? Obviously, diet is a major target. The deflammatory diet consists of eliminating sugar, grains, grain flours, omega-6 polyunsaturated vegetable oils, and trans fats. That would do the trick. This would mean eating more meats, meat proteins, chicken, fish, vegetables, fats, berries, raw nuts, and things like that, and not eating sugar or grains or polyunsaturated vegetable oils. We have this list available in our office, so if you want to stop by, we can get that to you. Or if you own Dr. David Seaman's book, The Deflamed Diet, that list is in there at least 20 different times. I mean, it's really the way to go. This is the point where so we do this, and I talk about people eliminating things from their diet. And this is the point where most people will tell me how healthy and amazing their diet is when I can clearly see that their waists are bigger than their hips. Remember the video on waist size to hip ratio. That's an indication of inflammation and diabetes, all sorts of other things. So, and like I said, that's what it is. That's a sign of chronic inflammation and a blood sugar level that is out of control. Recently, I have seen a number of patients in my office who have been told that their cholesterol levels were too high. Now listen to this. This is real interesting. And have been instructed to eat a heart-healthy diet. of oatmeal and whole grains to lower their cholesterol. This is what their doctor told them to do. Did the doctor tell them that their elevated blood sugar levels is the primary reason their cholesterol levels are so high? Right? Can't have one without the other. No, probably not. In fact, in each case, those patients eating oatmeal and whole grains for their heart and cholesterol levels watched their A1C levels skyrocket. Wow. They were now full-blown diabetics and were told they might have to be put on insulin, which is about the dumbest thing you can do to a type 2 diabetic, if their numbers did not come down. So they were put on a diet that jacked their blood sugars through the roof, and now they're pre-diabetic, diabetic, and now they need to go on insulin. A1C is more of a measurement rather than just a one-time. A1C is essentially a sugar coating, glycation is what it's called, sugar coating on the red blood cells. So if your red blood cells are coated in sugar, we know you got a big time blood sugar problem because your insulin and pancreas are storing sugar on the blood cells, red blood cells. Wow. Good. Now, did these patients believe us when we told them that the oatmeals and the grain were the problem? No, couldn't be, because this was a heart-healthy diet that they were doing. So in each case, they got one of those constant glucose monitors and put it on their arm, and it tells you in real time what the blood sugar level is doing with everything that you're eating. And they were shocked to discover that their blood sugars rose above 250 each time they ate oatmeal and stayed elevated for several hours. So there it was. The oatmeal and the grains, this heart-healthy diet, was making them diabetics. When they stopped eating oatmeal and whole grains, their A1Cs and blood sugar levels all returned to normal each and every time. I have to tell you, turning someone into a diabetic in the name of trying to save their heart from cholesterol, and the best part is cholesterol is not even really the problem. It's the inflammation, right, that destroys and pits the arterial walls. So once again, the anti-inflammatory diet handling the blood sugar, that's your best heart thing, not eating a bunch of grains and oatmeal. So that's kind of a dumb idea. So we're going to save your heart by making you a type 2 diabetic. How about that? But immediately, a person should get the idea if they stopped eating things that drove their blood sugar levels into the ionosphere, they would no longer be diabetic. And this would be the cure for type 2 diabetes. Make no mistake, you can change the way you eat in your lifestyle, and your blood sugar levels will drop, and you will no longer be diabetic. In past blogs and videos, I talked about the importance of sleep, sunlight, exercise, eating in a time-restricted eating window, and hanging around good people who lift your spirits and nourish your soul, and how important each of these factors was to eliminating chronic inflammation. But guess what? They are also very important in managing the blood sugar levels. So like we said, you want to lower your inflammatory thing, get plenty of sleep, sunlight, exercise, eat in a time-restricted eating window, and hang around decent people. Okay, it's the same thing. Good. You also handle your blood sugar. So let's take a quick look at what each of these do to the blood sugar levels. You need 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. And proper sleep increases insulin sensitivity and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which slows down the heart rate, stimulates digestion, and promotes rest and relaxation. Exercise. We talked about that. Exercise increases insulin sensitivity, meaning the cells take in the blood sugar, the glucose, more readily, burns up the excess sugar in the muscle tissue, and increases muscle mass, which will consume excess sugar. As a matter of fact, a brisk walk within 30 minutes of eating can lower blood sugar levels 50 times more than being sedentary. So as soon as you've eaten in 30 minutes, go for a brisk walk. And we're talking about arms moving and everything else. This isn't walking the dog. And it will lower blood sugar levels, about 50 times more than being sedentary. Sunlight increases vitamin D production, which is used in insulin production. So insulin regulates blood sugar levels. Sunlight also helps the body switch from carbohydrates to fat as an energy source. So you get out there in the sun and you'll burn the fat instead of the carbohydrates. Also, sunlight regulates the circadian clock, which is linked to metabolism and insulin resistance. A person needs about 30 minutes of sunlight a day, and that's on the face and arms and hands. The time restricted eating window, ideally. So what this means is that in a certain time period, you'll eat, and that's it. You'd like to be around 10 hours for females, 8 or 9 hours for males, right? So this would mean if 10 hours, that 14 hours a day, you're not eating anything and only drinking water. How about that? Great relationships. This was another one. Lower blood glucose levels. That's easy for me to say. So, what the studies are showing: being happily married, thinking about a romantic partner, good communication, and working partnerships all lower glucose levels. So there it is. Manage your blood sugar levels and live a deflammatory lifestyle. And you've got it made. I mean, really, it's not that difficult. That's it. All right, let's leave it at that for now because this was rather long. And we'll talk more about the problem with elevated blood sugar in the next video. In the meantime, we at Paragon Chiropractic can really help you get your blood sugar levels into the normal range, and all it would take is some self-discipline. All right, so if you think about it, hit the like, make some comments, and we'll see you next time. I'm Dr. Dave, Paragon Chiropractic.